Okay.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Tony, thanks for taking the time to do this with me today, man. Really appreciate it. So for the person watching this video, just share real quick your name, a little bit about your family, and then obviously some about your farm operation.
Yeah, my name's Tony Turry. I live in Northern California, a couple hours north of Sacramento, in the western side of the Sacramento Valley. My wife and I have a cow-calf operation and a trucking operation. We do a little bit of farming, mainly for our own feed. We have two children. Our son, Andrew's 24. Our daughter, Alexandra, we call her Moo Moo. She's going on 11. I'm third generation at this location. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool. So, and then Andrew works on the farm with you, right?
Andrew works on the farm with us. He also has his own trucking company. His goal and passion is the ranch. He trucks out of necessity.
Yep.
Him and I both have an obsession with trucks. We've yet to make any money with them.
But just something you enjoy doing, though.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, so we'll jump into just kind of first questions, though. Question number one is what was not working in life with, marriage, family, with business, every end of the spectrum. What was not working in life prior to joining Legacy Farmer?
Well, a little bit of history. My grandparents ran the roost until literally the day they died. My grandpa died in 2001, very close with him. My grandmother died in 2005. My dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 98. He died in 2009. He never got to take control of the ranch because by the time my grandmother died at 97, he was incapable to serve. So I was next in line. I had to take over. Even though I had been there ever since I got out of high school, my grandmother never shared any of the books. That was top secret. Nope, you don't need to know the books. Go do the work. So I struggled with the emotional loss of my grandparents and my dad in such what I considered a short amount of time. And we ended up selling a lot of cows. My wife and I ended up building our own herd, renting the ranch from the family, trying to keep things clean. But we went through a lot of struggles financially, and where was our position? Where was my wife's position in the ranch? And we just got tired of being on a hamster wheel, pretty much.
Do you feel like a lot of people today, especially in our industry, are stuck on that hamster wheel?
Absolutely. I feel like they're stuck on it and they're not willing to change. They keep trying the same thing over and over again, waiting for a market correction or waiting for some miraculous windfall.
Yep. Hope and prayer, right?
Yes.
Well, those people that are stuck there, do you think they're unwilling to change, or do you think part of it is just not knowing what to change?
I think it's more of an identity thing. I think it's and I struggle with that as well. I'm getting over it now because of Legacy Farmer, but the guy that's been a cattleman all his life and all of a sudden can't make any money. Well, I have a neighbor that's been that way. He's been bankrupt and back on his feet, but he went out and started a fencing company, and which was great. But he's one of the few that stepped outside of what his identity has been his whole life.
Yep. And a lot of people too, the identity is I'm a farmer or I'm a rancher.
Yep.
But we kind of forget the business owner side of it too.
Absolutely. And we were stuck in that as well. I knew that I needed to be a business person. I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the confidence.
Yep. 100%. Right. Okay. So what was the biggest thing that changed for you and Marianne once you guys joined? And so I'm talking personally, right? But also business wise as well.
Personally, it was like we went to a marriage counselor. We had permission to share our emotions with each other and really learn that emotions and facts a lot of times are different. And within a week or two, we learned how to separate it. And it's embarrassing to say because I'm 46, my wife is 41. We should know this stuff by now, but for some reason we didn't. And so our marriage has gotten a lot better. We can have a discussion with each other, not agree on it, and sort the emotions versus the facts out. And at the end of the day, tell each other, man, that was a great conversation. We moved forward.
Mhm.
And, probably on the business side, a lot of the same things, not making as many emotional decisions. I wouldn't say we still, sorry, I wouldn't say that all the emotional decisions have gone out the window, but there's definitely been a lot of progress made. And we're able, we've blended the personal relationship and the business relationship. You really shed a lot of light on that for me, because I was always taught that they're separate. You go home, you get home at 5 o'clock, you throw the business out the window and you focus on your marriage. Well, I have fought and fought and fought that inside my head. So on the business side, it's gotten a lot better uh, from that standpoint.
And so that strategy is what we've all been taught, right? You go to work and
Yeah,
you leave work at the business, and then when you're home, it's focus. It's great. It's a great theory, but it's not reality, right? It's
correct.
impossible. When you guys are dealing with the weight that you feel, the financial struggles, those problems, it's impossible to just turn that off, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what's what's your favorite thing about Legacy Farmer? Everything we do here, lots of different things and tools and systems, accountability, the code, the calls, and everything like that. What's your favorite thing?
Well, my least favorite thing was all of the trainings up until maybe the third group of trainings, and then everything started coming together. Why you do the other ones? So um, I'm really enjoying the entity and matrix, but my favorite still is the meetings. I don't know what it is. It's like my every week going to church Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings. I set that time aside, and I want to be there.
It's kind of funny though too, because as a farmer rancher, it's hard to make time for anything, right? But
Absolutely.
what's crazy though is how many people we have show up to those calls, because it is like their session to go in. And some of them, they may not have anything to talk about, but some of them, they just want to connect to something like, here, okay, I'm not alone with this problem or challenge right now, or my banker's doing this, or my accountant's doing this, or I'm struggling with this at home, or whatever it is. Like that's their time to go connect and realize they're not alone, but also learn from other people.
Correct. Yeah, I feel like I connect with everybody. Anytime anybody says something on those meetings, I feel like I can relate.
Yep, 100%. How valuable has it been for you to hear about the mistakes that other people have made?
Extremely valuable. You try to learn from mistakes, and maybe selfishly, you try to learn from other people's mistakes before you implement those mistakes yourself.
Well, and that's the entire point of Legacy Farmer in a way, is to stop people from making dumb mistakes. Call it the dumb tax, right? And there's no small mistake on the farm.
Well, it takes so many years to recover.
And that's the deal. Is like some of these guys will, when I was in the bank, a guy would lose 300 grand one year, and it's like, hey, no big deal. We'll just, remortgage the ground or term it out or whatever. I'm like, okay, like you can think about it that way. Like you're stuck on the emotional, happiness you get from getting a farm next year, but 300 grand, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, that's, 20 to 25 years of land payments gone in 1 year out the window. It's 20 to 25 years of stress and anxiety and staring up the ceiling, wondering how you're going to make the land payment. Yeah. So there's a lot more weight to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Well, out of, at the end of the day, it took you guys, how long did it take you guys, did you, Mary Ann, really think about joining Legacy Farmer before you committed?
It was probably a good 3 weeks to a month.
Okay. So this is a great question for you then. What would you say to somebody that's sitting on the fence? Because you guys sat on the fence for a month, got in. You already told me about how happy you felt, and just like the camaraderie of the group and everybody welcoming you, and like you found a home, right? So what's the one thing that Tony would say to somebody that's sitting on the fence like you are?
There is an immediate paradigm shift once you join, and it has to do with camaraderie. When everybody welcomed me on board, I literally started crying, because it felt like there was hope and relief. And the whole paradigm shifts, and it goes from, like you just said, where I want the emotional pleasure of going out and farming next year and selling my calves, but the paradigm shifts to, holy crap, I got to make money too. And viewing it as a business has not always been a priority. So if you're sitting on the fence, wondering whether you should join or not, is a really, really cheap investment on the whole broad spectrum, because you're going to get that shift.
You know, and you think about it too, like we talked about, there's no small financial mistake on the farm. If all we did was a person joins, and if all we did was keep them from making one mistake because they joined one boardroom call, heard one person talking about this huge mistake they made, and then that person themselves faces that mistake in the next 3 months, and now they don't make it, the investment pays for itself. Not just financially, stress, the stress you take home to your marriage, how you act in front of your kids. Like there's whole wheelhouse here of different things that we're covering.
Yeah. You're a marriage counselor, you're a fitness counselor, you're a business coach. And I say it jokingly, Jace, but I'm serious. It's, you give us the tools. You don't do it for us, but you give us the tools. And if you take the time to, follow your lead and the tools that you have in front of us, they pay off.
If all you did was show up on the calls and that's all we offered, which obviously we offer a lot more than that, but if that's all you got, for a lot of people, they'd say, yeah, this is easily worth it.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, Tony, again, man, I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me.
Thank you, Jace.